So I take a breath. I remind myself of the truth that there is only one thing, spirit. That everything I experience, everything that I am is spirit. That each one of us is a spiritual being having a wonderful adventure called life. That this is the truth. That we are more than just connected with life. We are one with it. In this, that a drop of water is one with the ocean. And there is good for us. This good is always surrounding us, always unfolding in myriad ways. We can just look at the beautiful flowers, the grass, the trees, the sky, and see for ourselves the natural state is goodness. And so, understanding that this is the truth, I now declare and know on behalf of each and every person here this morning, each and every person watching, that there is good for us in our personal lives. That right now we are able to open our hearts to accept more and more of this good, to believe that we have a wonderful role to play in the unfolding of life itself. I accept greater health, greater prosperity, wonderful relationships, amazing creativity, a sense of peace and joy. I accept it on behalf of all of us, and I know that spirit always responds. Therefore, I turn this treatment over to spirit, understanding it's already done. Letting go, I give thanks and invite you to join with me by saying together, and so it is. Thank you, everyone. Now, we're doing a little something different. You've got a song sheet in your hand, and I want to invite you all to rise and shine, and let's sing. So.
I've got the joy, 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 joy down in my heart, down in my heart, down in my. I've got the joy, 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 joy down in my heart, down in my heart to stay. I've got the peace that passes understanding down in my heart, down in my heart, down in my heart. I've got the peace that passes understanding down in my heart, down in my heart to stay. I've got the life and love of God within me down in my heart, down in my heart, down in my heart. I've got the life and love of God within me down in my heart, down in my heart to stay. I've got the joy, 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 joy down in my heart, down in my heart, down in my heart. I've got the joy, 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 joy down in my heart, down in my heart to stay.
Thank you, everyone, and thank you, Richard James. Let's give him a hand. It's great to have Richard with us this morning. Richard and his piano, right? He makes good use of it, wonderful use of it. Now, if you could please look inside your program, find the group reading, and let's read it together. Ready? There is one life, both visible and invisible, one presence, one mind, one power is all. This one that is all is perfect love and perfect intelligence. I am an individualized expression of all that it is. I am ever one with this perfect life, perfect love, and perfect intelligence.
Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us. Above us, only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Imagine there's no countries. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for, and no religion too. Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will live as one. Imagine no possessions. I wonder if you can. No need for greed or hunger. A brotherhood of man. Imagine all the people sharing all the world. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you will join us, and the world will be as one. We'll be as one. Blessings.
Beautiful, Richard. Thank you so much. You can never go wrong with that song, you know? It's kind of a new thought anthem. I can imagine a world like that, can you?
Yes.
Well, we must. That's how it will happen. So today, I'm happy to be with you again, and welcome to all of you online, wherever you are watching on whatever device you're on in the magic world of technology. We are happy to have you part of us today. I'm going to be speaking about three aspects of our life that all of us deal with all the time, and especially the first two. I'm talking about the mundane, the profane, and the sacred. Now, we know what the mundane is, don't we? Every single day, we're dealing with chores, with things that have to be taken care of. Most familiar with cooking, cleaning, car washing, mowing the lawn,
paying the bills. These are mundane things that have to be taken care of in anyone's life. Driving in traffic, getting a haircut, it's so much. Have you ever noticed how much of your life is maintenance? You got to maintain your body, the dentist, maybe the therapist, the doctor, the optometrist. It goes on and on. Clothing, dry cleaning, everything. We're just inundated with to-do lists. That's called the world of the mundane. Usually they lack excitement or inspiration, making them by definition mundane. And much of what we experience every day falls into this category of what Elvis Presley used to call taking care of business. And that's what we're about largely. So much of our life is about that. But along with that, we also experience the profane. Now, I'm not talking about profanity. I know none of you swear. No, I bet you all do, because you know why? I just read the other day that people who swear a lot are smarter than people who don't. So that makes me a freaking genius. I don't know about you. But some words just are better than others, right? To get your point across. No, I'm serious about the profane being a spiritual thing. The actual meaning of the word is that which, and this is something to hold on to, that which is outside the temple. Now the temple, what is the temple? We're speaking about the temple of spiritual truth. That which is outside the temple is profane. And the temple would be the spiritual truth. Well, back in the old days of metaphysicians, they would say being profane would be you're off principle. And that means that we are describing our life as if we had little to do with it. And that we have forgotten for the moment that consciousness precedes form and experience. We have forgotten that there's one power being all life and that all of us have access to it and express it in our own unique way. So usually profane means we are pointing fingers away from ourselves. And it's called, of course, condemning and blaming and judging the world for our unhappiness. It's attributing cause to anything outside of the temple of our own spiritual beingness. This is important. Blaming, condemning, judging harshly. These are all outside the temple. I heard something this week that I found quite useful. And I think it was a therapist online who said, when you're faced with someone who's driving you nuts, or someone on the news that's really upsetting what they're doing, she said, try these 4 words. I assume intentions. And this is a very profound spiritual principle. Everybody is doing the best they can according to what they believe about themselves. Emma Curtis Hopkins said, everybody is saying the same thing. There's good for me and I ought to have it. But not everybody knows how to get it. Not everybody knows they generate it from within. Most people in the world think it's out there and they're going to get it somehow. They're going to grab it. They're going to fight for it. They're going to start a war for it. But they're doing the best they can. They have good intentions. Now, we don't say that for them, but for ourselves, to hold on to our center of peace, to hold on to our truth. It's important because we are all generating from within. And what we believe doesn't stay here. It really does ripple out into this field of subjective mind of which we are all one and all part of it. And so what we know to be true ripples through that field, and it's caught by those who have ears to hear. So outside of the temple is not the spiritual way to navigate life, but it's easy to do. These ideas of naming and blaming are profane because they arise not from inspiration, not from a kind of inner peace, but from desperation. People do terrible things when they're desperate, or in existential angst. So desperate to make sense of the world, we sometimes grasp the easiest explanation. Have you ever done that? No, nobody in this room. Of course. Joseph Campbell said something really profound, and Joseph Campbell was the famous mythologist that Bill Moyers interviewed many decades ago. He said, life is wonderful, but it hurts. See, that's it. This is we are walking a very narrow path, and it's easy to fall off on one side and forget the other. Now, this side is the spiritual, the beliefs, what we know to be true. And then we're in the world where things hurt sometimes, the world of pleasure and pain. And sometimes it's very easy to fall off into that. And so this teaching largely is about having the tools to live in that world without falling victim to it, to live in that world, to see through the appearance. This is what the master teacher Jesus said. This is how you do it, is you judge righteously by seeing through the appearance to the being that's standing before you, to the spiritual light that's actually there, and to call it out. And the only way we call it out is in our own mind. It's not really important what they do. It's important how we see them or see the world. That's how real change comes. When we don't validate evil behavior, when we don't validate unthinking actions, but we stand firm and see through it as best we can. I'm not saying it's easy. You know, it's not easy being human. Kermit the Frog knew the truth. It ain't easy being green, and it's not easy being human. So it's tempting to make sense of the world by looking out there and saying, well, that's why, and they did, and those people, and then the past, my parents, and then it's always something else outside the temple. That's profane. Okay, but there is a higher way to live, and it's the sacred. The sacred is a higher perception. And this is where you can see the sacred in the mundane. Somebody said either everything is, and they also said that about miracles, either everything is a miracle or nothing is. I think it was Einstein that said that. So yes, everything is sacred. What does this mean? What is sacred? Well, one definition is made by God, or something that is arising from the divine, from the quantum field of love and intelligence, which is, of course, everything that lives. All sentient life is one life being individually expressed. So the sacred aspect of your nature, my nature, is the being that's looking through the eyes. Not the psychology and not the past, but the being who's standing here. And this is what we attempt to cultivate in this teaching, is to remember who we are, what our origins actually are. So sacred means coming from something perfect and allowing itself to seem imperfect. You know, there's an old saying, I think it's from Hinduism. Ernest Holmes quotes it in his book, The Science of Mind, but he didn't credit it. But it says, I, the imperfect, adore my own perfect. That's meditation. That's spiritual mind treatment. That's the goal. To know that as a human being, I have flaws and personality quirks, and I can really upset people if I want. But behind all that, there's this beautiful light, this beautiful being. And if there weren't, we would never get past the third grade. We would never recover from anything. It's like when you get a cut finger. I always use this analogy, but it works. For little kids and older people. You don't do anything about it and it heals. There's a wholeness matrix, and it's true of everything about it. Our entire body is that wholeness matrix expressing. And what makes it less than that are our beliefs, our fears, our judgments, our condemnations. And a lot of times they're turned within, right? We beat ourselves up pretty well. I'm really good at that, aren't you? Yeah, I should have, I could have, well, I would have, why didn't I? And all that. But the body just keeps pumping along. The body, and as Emerson said, up again, old heart, let's keep going. The body is sacred. And that's why a lot of teachers refer to it as the temple, the body temple. It is the residence of spirit. It's where God lives on this plane, this time-space dimension. This is where spirit lives, is as this body, as these eyes looking out. So seeing the sacred in the mundane is a very challenging practice. The Buddhists know how to do it pretty well. It's the realization that what we are doing, the mundane, does not define who we are. I remember one time when I was very young, my ex-husband and I were managing an apartment, a small apartment house. My son was 2 years old. And they had white painted steps. So I just took it upon myself to scrub them. I figured, well, they're dirty. They need to be, So I'm on my hands and knees scrubbing these steps. And my father happened to walk by. He actually was part owner of the building. And he said, Carol, get up off your knees. You are not to be doing that. You are better than this. And I looked at him. I didn't know what the hell he was talking about. It was like, this has nothing to do with me. I'm just scrubbing steps. And I didn't realize I was kind of Buddhist when I was young. I didn't know it. But that's the truth. What we are doing never defines us. Things need to be taken care of, and we handle them, right? What would happen if we just stopped doing everything? The world would be more chaotic than it actually is. So the being that we are is not changed by what we're doing. And by the way, not by what has happened in our past. We are never damaged, never diminished by any event. Not the whole self. The only thing that's damaged is our self-esteem. And that's our opinion of ourselves. That's when we say, I'll never recover. I'm a victim. And we've all been victimized, but none of us are victims. And sometimes we keep participating in it, and because we maybe haven't learned how to stop doing that. And how to stop doing that is to return to the sacred, to go back into who am I? Who's standing here? Who's been here all these years? I'm more than a survivor. I'm alive. I'm a sentient being that's an individualization of a beautiful intelligence. Ernest Holmes used to say, the universe and everything in it is the visible evidence of an incredible intelligence at work. And we also must say an incredible love making it all happen. Love is the energy of cohesiveness that brings things together that belong together. So the sacred exists in the midst of the mundane and the profane. And I believe we ought to start with ourselves. Our very being is sacred, and we are the emanation of an infinite love and intelligence. I want you to say a couple things. I see with spiritual eyes. I feel the sacred presence everywhere. I infuse my life with inspiration from the divine. I transform the mundane with my spiritual sight. I see through the appearance. I see the sacred. They must have good intentions. I just added that one up. Okay, so I believe we have to always start with ourselves. Love and intelligence, to me, is the best description of God. Love, intelligence in a perfect right relationship to create the third thing, being the universe and everything in it, but that includes us. And so what we do, the words we speak, and even our thoughts are sacred acts. You could say sacraments, if you will. They're an offering. We are offering the world what we think, how we speak, and what we believe. So when we speak ill of ourselves or others, we are uttering profanities. Human life is sacred first, mundane second, depending on how we choose to live, and profane only to the degree we stray from the temple. We stray from our spiritual roots. Ernest Holmes said, in effect, the farmer sees the sacred in the field. The mother sees the sacred in her newborn's eyes. The gardener sees the sacred in the soil. And this is why everything we ever wanted to know about life can be seen in nature. And I think we all need to get out more and be with nature, because it's a beautiful evidence of the perfect matrix of the intelligence that runs so deeply. You know, when you think, I saw a packet of seeds somewhere this morning. Oh, it was at your house. And I thought, you know, you put a little thing like that thing in the soil, cover it up, and what do you know? You know it has intelligence within that thing. There's a code in there that says, become a daffodil, or whatever it is. And by God, it does it. If it's not interfered with, the soil has nutrients in it, the water from the rain or the gardener watering it, and the light, it just becomes. That is what life is. Everything has a code within it that knows how to be successful, how to be happy, how to be more prosperous, how to be a giver. You know, giving and receiving are the same thing. It's a wonderful circle. So we all have an inner code we could call the sacred aspect of our being, and it knows itself as us. The great I am personified as the I am that I name myself. So human life, it's a miracle. It's a sacred miracle. So this is basically the practice of New Thought, is seeing through the appearance, judging things righteously, taking back our own power by realizing everything starts as an idea. It's just like the song Richard sang, that old John Lennon and Yoko Ono song. She wrote the lyrics, you know. Did you know that? Yes. Yeah, she did. It's an idea. It says, imagine. Use your mind to imagine the world that we want to live in. We need to do that all the time. That's the practice. To see the mundane as a blessing, like, how lucky that I can drive this car. How lucky that I have enough money to put gas in it. How fortunate it is that I have good food to eat and that I can share, that I can support kids around the world, which I do. I hope you do too. No Kid Hungry is a great organization, by the way, to support. But we're so fortunate. We're so fortunate, and we must know the truth about people around the world who are not experiencing the level of fortune we are. We must not call them poor people. We must not say, well, they don't, you know, their culture. No, it's like, that's God too. That's the Spirit in that form, and we need to call it out in our own mind. We need to see everybody as an emanation of this infinite intelligence. So we cannot lump people into boxes. We're all God being human. We're all the divine. Okay, so to sum up, we are both spiritual and human. Let's say this out loud. I am spiritual and human. I am ethereal and physical. I am vibration and flesh. A lot of flesh at this time. Anyway, I am eternal and temporary. One is not more real than the other, but one is everlasting. And one is subject to time and space limitation. And so in this teaching, a part of it is to learn how to be in the time-space limitation and learn how you can transcend some of the effects of them. That we are greater than any effect, greater than any temporary bodily disturbance, which is nothing but a fluctuation in energy. It's another talk. But learning to bring a more spiritual perception to the limited realm is the practice we talk about in New Thought, and it is a sacred act. Let's know together that the one power that is the only power there is everywhere present in this moment and in every moment. There is no place where spirit is not. All of it, all the time, all at once, equally distributed in every life. And all of its qualities are ours to use, to express the love, the joy, the peace, the vitality, the supply. These are the building blocks of a human life. They turn themselves into experience. And so we claim them. We claim them over and over and over again. My life is the life of spirit being lived just for the fun of it, just for the joy of it, just because it must express itself in this dimension to know itself. And so we are a blessing. Our life is a blessing. Everything about it is a blessing. We accept it all as a sacred experience. No matter what we're doing, we are always in the presence of our source. And so we begin again, and we know this for every person on this planet, every child. We see them all well-fed, well-sheltered, well-educated, well-loved. It is our nature to do so. We bring it about by imagining it. We let it be. Right now, we release these words knowing that they find their natural landing place and they become external visions of themselves. With gratitude in our hearts, we let it be and we say it together, and so it is. Richard. Ah.
Think of your fellow man, lend him a helping hand, put a little love in your heart. You see it's getting late, please don't hesitate, put a little love in your heart, and the world will be a better place, and the world will be a better place for you and me. Just you wait and see. Another day goes by and still the children cry. Put a little love in your heart. If you want the world to know we won't let hatred grow, put a little love in your heart, and the world will be a better place. Yes, that world will be a better place for you and me. Just you wait and see. Put a little love in your heart. Put a little love in your heart. Put a little love in your heart. Just take a good look around, and if you're looking down, just put a little love in your heart.
Very nice.
I hope when you decide, kindness will be your guide. Put a little love in your heart. Why must we always fight? Two wrongs don't make a right. Put a little love in your heart. If you show someone you care, happiness you can share, put a little love in your heart. Don't let yourself be blind, put your faith in mankind, put a little love in your heart. Come on and join that crowd. Help us sing it loud. Put a little love in your heart. and the world will be a better place. The world will be a better place for you and me. Just you wait and see. Put a little Put a little love in your heart. Put a little love in your heart.
It's really good. Thank you, Richard. You're really wonderful. Thank you so much for being here. Isn't that nice? All right. So right now, our conscious giving time. I just really want to emphasize that when we support anything with money or time or talent, it's a sacred act. And passing the plate, so to speak, is traditional in spiritual settings. But I want us to really feel the power of the moment. When you let go of something you've worked for, just to share, just to support, that's a sacred act. And so I want you to know how grateful we all are for this. That we're a nonprofit and we work from the donations of PBS, people like you. And so we thank you in advance for your gifts. And so if the ushers will come up front, I think we have a kind of a new way of doing it with our seating. We're going to go right along and pass it. Start second row.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
So let's don't miss the moment. Let's say this together, our conscious giving affirmation. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I am, and all that I give. I know this is so, and so it is. Thank you.
Happy birthday.
We're whispering about happy birthday because we know we've got cake, and we know we've got a couple of birthday people. Because Morgan and I both have August birthdays. Anybody else have an August birthday?
When is yours?
August 30th.
Oh.
But yeah, so let's go ahead and sing happy birthday to everybody.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday,
everybody.
Happy birthday to you.
Yay.
So I do want to just share a few quick announcements. The rest can be found inside your program or on our website, cslcarlsbad.org, where you can find more information about our center and a link to sign up for our weekly newsletter, or you can sign up in the lobby if you want to get our newsletter. So everyone is invited to stay for fellowship today. Thank you to Dr. Maddie for bringing the cake. We're all set. And I also want to thank Odie for the flowers. And I want to thank Jan for being our greeter today. So let's give a hand to our behind the scenes volunteers, because we really are a community center, and everything that everyone does really helps so much. So speaking of a community center, I am being reminded that we have a suggestion box out. If anyone has any suggestions about what we're going to be talking to after fellowship, which is the follow-up on our tea party, and ideas for future events or anything else. And the other thing that's, I think, most important of all is that everyone can request spiritual wine treatments today. So today we have a box in the lobby. You can put in a written request for any condition that you would like to see changed. You can also contact us by email, and that information is on our website also. So now, before we leave, what I'd like to do is invite Odie to come up and help with our candle lighting as we remind ourselves of the truth and the good that we are able to rely upon to carry us through this upcoming week. So first, we light a candle for life. Life is everywhere present, flowing through each and every one of us. There is only one life. That life is God's life. That life is our life now. So please affirm with me, I am life. We light a candle for love. The birth of love happens within each one of us every time we make room for the Christ consciousness in our hearts and recognize our unity. We are points of love within the heart of God. So please affirm with me, I am love. We light a candle for light. The light of God is the presence and the power. We are always walking in the light. We radiate the light of God wherever we are. So please affirm with me, I am light. We light a candle for beauty. We are made in the likeness and image of God. We are each whole, complete, and beautiful. Just as we are, we accept the beauty of God's perfection as our perfection now. So please affirm with me, I am beauty. And we light a candle for joy. Joy is the very nature of spirit and the true essence of each of us. We celebrate the joy of our own rebirth in the God consciousness. We each bring joy to the world. So please affirm with me, I am joy. And we light a candle for peace. Today and every day we open our hearts to peace. We are each a center of peace in our world. So please affirm with me, I am peace. And finally, most importantly, I invite you to take a moment to recognize your own inner light that is always shining within as we each honor our own metaphysical path of wholeness, oneness, and mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles, which are ours to rely on always. So thank you, Odie. So as we go through this week, let's just carry these attributes, these aspects of life, of spirit with us as we go through, allowing the sacred to shine through all our experience this week. So now if you'd like to, please stand for our closing song. It's on the back of your program.
Open your heart, let your love go free, out over the ocean, right across the street. Let it flow like a river, let it fly like a dove, till your heart remember, you can't stop love. Once you get it started, watch what it does. It'll go full circle. You can't stop
love. Yay! Let's go eat cake.
Everyone.
Thank you, Bevan.